The story of the story of the stories. It takes me a few minutes before I figure out what that means. Congratulations, Jonathan. You gave us a very professional speech tonight in front of about 30 people. I believe some of them, most of them are not Christian. And as you know, Jonathan, he is the English professor in the university. And he taught the whole semester's literature class in 20 minutes. And I'm the evaluator. It's quite challenging for me. But thank you for Jonathan. You did a good job. You prepared a very nice PowerPoint. Your speech definitely is perfect. And from Jonathan's speech, even we are not Christian, but we can learn a lot of stories from Jonathan. First, Jonathan introduced himself. He's from a serious, he's a serious Christian in a young age. But he doesn't quite understand the Bible because there are some embarrassing stories inside the Bible until he went to the graduate school. He fell in love with the English literature class because the teacher told them the Bible. I believe Jonathan, he fell in love with Bible first before he fell in love with Valora. And so Jonathan is telling us his story in his lifetime about the Bible, how to apply the Bible to his life. Bible is a very old book. It's more than 4,000, at least 2,000 old book. But there are many stories. First story begins with Adam and Eve. And because they sinned, so their relationship with God was broken. But God tried to cover their sin, so they still can carry on. However, they could no longer go back to the past. And then the second story is Abraham. God gave him the promise, and Abraham followed, even tried to sacrifice his son. And so on and so on. So first story, second story, there are many stories, and there are many books in the Bible. So let's call story of the stories, and plus Jonathan, he's telling his story. So the topic is the story of stories. Thank you for Jonathan. You use a very simple example to tell us what is Bible is about. It's about our life and death. So life and death is not something you are physically life or death, but because your spiritual or your relationship broke up with God or with people, then you mess up your life. Then, but somebody come out to help you, and so you can overcome those problems. You got to the climax, and then you from climax you fall again until you stabilize, and then you face another problem. So it keeps going on and going on and going on. And Jonathan told us you can learn the life and death story from the Bibles and then apply to yourself. Then in that way, you gradually overcome the problems, you become a better person. If I can say something for Jonathan, is to try to maybe make the scope less, smaller. In that way, people can listen.